What's happening there, everybody? This is Hayden Adams with A Designer Who Codes. In this video, I want to talk about how you can create an email draft inside of Google Docs. We'll first go over the what and then stick around for the why, because this part's actually really cool and I've used it a couple times for different projects. So what I want to do is I want to start with an email draft. You can do it two ways. If it's a brand new email, you can come up to email draft and click on it. Or if you don't have this at the top, you can simply type Shift at and go down to where it says email draft in the list. And just like magic, it puts a draft of an email inside of Google Docs. So we'll say draft email example, if I can type properly. There we go. So this is now saved by default in my drive with Google. So it's not just a draft in email, but it's inside my drive. So what I first want to do is I'm going to add a person. So we'll say, there we go. There I am. And you can add multiple people if you want. Now in this case, I'm going to take them out and just have myself right there. But you can type the @ sign if you want to for more people. I'm going to set a subject and say test email. And what I can do is I can now use all the powers of the Google Docs to write an email. So if I want to say, this is one important email. And just like that, we can put it in, hit the return key. I can then insert an image. So if I upload from the computer, I'm going to grab this little icon that I have, this little floppy disk, and we'll say insert. And in there, I can then resize the picture and we'll make it a little smaller so it's right about there. Now, how I actually send this email is I have to click this little M sign for preview in Gmail. So if I click on it, generate a draft, it'll open up a new window and it'll formulate my email to go, hey, this looks pretty good. Here is me, my Hayden Nautilus Designs, my test email, and that floppy disk icon. Now, I can send this out, but what's the power of doing this into the Google Docs? Well, the power is we have the share button. So the share means I can collaborate on this email. So if I say share, what I can do is that, and I'm also using Google Workspace, so I could also have anybody in my organization or anybody with a link. So if I was creating a group email I wanted to send to someone, I said, you know what, I want some help crafting this information. I want to send it to my colleague, I want to send it to a friend. I can then set this general access to editor. And now what this allows me to do is if I have an organization, I can say, well, within my organization or anyone with a link. So if I say done, this is just my old habit when I share links. I always say done, then I come back. I know it's probably going to work fine. I don't know why my share button is not shared. There it goes. Just took a second to kick into gear. But now I can copy this link. And in theory, if I send it to a colleague or a copy editor, or anybody else I want to have collaborating on this email, and I can also add email addresses at the top, now I have a collaborative email function that I can use to make sure and say, does this read okay? And what I'm doing is I'm collaborating on an email through Google Docs. That's pretty darn amazing. And I think it's a really powerful tool you can utilize in the Google Docs area. And then when you're ready, you can say, okay, preview in Gmail. It's going to create that draft. And almost like magic, it updates it to say, does this read okay? This looks good. I can send it out. But if not, I can come back and collaborate with my colleagues, my friends, my professionals, and make it work.